Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to CFCexplained, and this is your match preview for our fourth game in the Conference League. And this time we will have our toughest game in the competition so far, and we're going to travel to Germany, to a little place where a team called Heidenheim is operating in. And they are currently 15th place in the Bundesliga. They haven't had the best run in the league, if I'm gonna be honest. They have lost a lot of games, they have drawn, conceded tons of goals, but in terms of the Conference League competition, they are unbeaten so far in all their games. So we can't, of course, take Heidenheim too lightly. It will still be a difficult side, but despite us rotating and playing the so-called B team, we should of course be able to get a job done pretty comfortable. And an interesting fact around Heidenheim is actually that they have had the longest serving manager throughout the history in a single club. Their manager Frank Schmidt has been a manager for Heidenheim in a total of 17 seasons. That is actually incredible, that's commendable. And his core principles is to be tactical resilient and relies on defensive solidity and go on fast counter-attacks. They really like to find wide players that putting in crosses to the target man up front, who is pretty dangerous in Kleindienst. And they have a dangerous winger in Beste, and they also have a young starlet from Bayern München that we have to watch out for, who is called Paul Werner, only 18 years old, but he has added a few goals this season. Heidenheim combined their aggressive man-marking press to force the opposition to make mistakes and then take advantage of that on going on quick counter-attacks and punish the opposition. So that's something we need to watch out for. We will have tall center backs. I'm gonna go into the lineup soon, but we should be able to deal with the crosses coming inside the box. As we know, we can be susceptible to direct counter attacks, and when we're rotating the team, we won't really have the best players playing, we won't have the best chemistry, so it could play into Heidenheim's favor and force the mistakes and maybe get something out of that. But outside of that, I'm not worried and I'm pretty comfortable. We're gonna go there to their arena and claim easy peasy 3 points. Now, in terms of key talking points for this video, Maresca talked a little bit about Nkunku, that he's not for sale and they really want to keep him, but unless you're gonna give Nkunku game time, he's gonna seek a move elsewhere. Like, anyone can figure that out. But it's also up to Nkunku to deliver in Conference League, be consistent and show the manager what you're all about. Because that's the only thing Nkunku can do in the current moment. But I would really like to see him actually being operating in a number 10 role in some games and see what type of difference that could make. Because that is his best position. So for me, it's very important that you're looking at a player first, why they are performing bad, and not just calling a player bad because for the sake of it and they performing well. Try to ask why and understand, could it be reasons for it? If you think of Nkunku, if he's not playing in his best position, how can he then perform to his best levels? I mean, that makes totally sense. The same goes for maybe just in terms of the way we're playing and the players they're playing with each other. But Enzo Fernandez has been looking better these recent games, but throughout the season he could have performed better. Sure, he made mistakes, he misplaced a lot of passes, that's on him, but he wasn't utilized in his best role and position, and for me that is being a deep line playmaker or a central midfielder in a 3-man midfield. If he's gonna be this advanced number 10, he will struggle when it comes to tracking back and pressing high up in the pitch. And it's not that agile and hasn't the pace to do that role, in my opinion. So when a player performs bad, I think it often comes to them not being utilized in the right way most of the times. But then it they also need to take responsibility and be consistent and improve. The second talking point we're going to go through very briefly, and that is around Pong. Maresca mentioned he has been training in the recent training sessions, but it's up to the club and the player to figure out the contract situation. So therefore nothing has been sold yet, and therefore he's not gonna take part of the squad that is traveling tonight to play Heidenheim, and that's very unfortunate. I think a manager should have power and decide whether a player should stay, but that's not how it is in the current moment. I hope we can find a solution for Pong, because he's our third right back option, and Reece James is barely available. We don't know what his future holds for. And if the worst thing comes to happen, that James gets sold, then we already have an academy guy that can play in this inverted fullback or inverted wingback position in Pong, and therefore we don't need to go into the market and spend crazy money on a new player. Alright, so let's get into the funnest part, which is my predicted lineup, or what I think Maresca is going to do, and then I'm going to give you my opinions around it. Jorgensen in goal, since he is our Conference League keeper. In the back line, I think we're going to go with the Sassi, Tosin and Badachile, as well as Renato Veiga. This backline makeshift into back three that consists of the Sassi, Tosin and Badachile. Now, I don't really like to have the Sassi out wide. He's really struggling defending in those wide areas, but Maresca needs to give them game time. He needs to keep the squad players happy, and we don't have anyone else to play there. I wouldn't risk Gusto. I would rest him. It's not worth risking playing Malo Gusto in a Conference League game. It's better we're saving him for the weekend. So therefore, keeping the Sassi, Tosin, Badachile happy will be important and give them minutes. I mean, they should still be able to do a decent job against Heidenheim. And Veiga will then, of course, invert into the midfield together with Casadei, who will stay back in the pivot. And then Kieran Dewsbury Hall, who starts in the pivot, will then move further up into the left half space where he was positioned under Maresca when they played in Leicester. And my front four is going to consist of Mudryk on the left hand side, João Felix in the middle. To be honest, I wouldn't be against seeing Kone Chukwuemeka be given game time here. But it looks like his future is to leave Chelsea. He's not going to have a future here, it seems like. So maybe that's why Maresca won't start him. I assume then João Felix start, although I wouldn't be against seeing Jadon Sancho operating in the number 10 role, or even Mihailo Mudryk, because Mudryk can do it by making runs in behind the backline. But I think João Felix getting the starting spot in the number 10 role for maybe like 45-50 minutes, and then Maresca will sub him out. I'll also expect Tyreek George, our academy starlet, to start on the right wing, because Sancho is competing on the left wing with Mihailo Mudryk, and therefore I don't think he's going to operate as the right wing. Madueke is traveling, Neto is resting, he has not traveled, but I don't think we're going to risk Madueke either. Maybe we're saving him for the second half, giving him a few minutes. I expect Mudryk be subbed off and Sancho comes in the second half. He hasn't played that much because he has been sick for a while, and therefore I will slowly integrate him back by subbing him off from the bench in the second half. Now front we're going with Nkunku, because that's how Maresca is operating now. As I'm stressing, I really like to see him in a number 10 role, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I never think we're gonna see the best of Nkunku here at Chelsea, as long as he's playing as a striker. Unfortunate. Then we could see substitutions in Mark Yu coming on later, and Nkunku is being subbed off. Let me know what you think of this lineup. We have to make sure we rest as many players as possible. The season is long. Now when November comes to an end and December, we're soon in December, we're gonna have games coming thick and fast. We're gonna have the most compact schedule throughout the season. It's important with resting players and managing the squad, both in Premier League, in Conference League, and when the FA Cup starts as well. So that's very important. The thing I'm looking forward to and looking at when we're playing Conference League, even though it's not the funnest to watch, maybe us playing against these lesser teams that we don't belong in this competition, we all can agree upon that. I'm still looking at how the squad players is performing in Maresca's system, if they are improving. I also like to see players in the roles, see what they if they are improving. For example, I think Mudryk, you can see there is a progress now compared to how it was under Pochettino. You can see Renato Vega stepping up, he's maturing. He sometimes looks like he's a 30-year-old experienced player out there on the pitch. So I'm very pleased with Renato Vega as the new signing this summer. And he's so versatile, he can play in the back three, he can also step up in the midfield and also defend in the wide areas like a left back. The guy is like a skyscraper. He's very tall, physical, winning a lot of duels and headers. So I'm looking forward to watch Renato Vega continue to develop, and it's going to be fun to see the rest of the guys as well. And I think if Jorgensen proves that he is very reliable in possession, making good saves, as I said in previous videos, I would definitely consider making him our first goalkeeper if Sanchez continue to make mistakes and being poor in the build-up play with his passes. In terms of a score prediction, I think we're gonna go and claim, of course, 3 points, and we're gonna see a few goals. I think we're gonna win 3-1. I think Heidenheim is gonna get a goal somehow by a mistake from our defenders. That is what my gut feeling tells me. I think we're gonna see Mudryk score, Nkunku score, and I think we're gonna see Vega score a header from a set piece as well. And we're traveling home back to England comfortable with another victory in Conference League. So let me know your thoughts around my key talking points, around the predicted lineup, and your score prediction in comments down below. And if you're brand new here, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my page, hit that notification bell down below so you never miss when the content drops. And Chelsea Explained is out. Bye.